Hello. How's everyone? Haven't been on here for a while. I just have a quick testimony. It's been years ago, but the message comes from a revelation about, how we're all looking for a breakthrough, praying for a breakthrough, but we get many blessings in between. Let me take our blessings. We wake up every day. If you're able to hear this video, see this video, that's a blessing. If you went to work today, those are blessings. Blessings come unexpectedly. They're normally, they come every day. We are blessed with many things every day. Breakthroughs, we call them blessings because they're not this big old bang of a thing that we've been waiting for that's going to change our life entirely for the rest of our lives, or turn our lives completely for the rest of our lives. And that's the revelation that came to me, because I always think about lots of things that came with, blessings in the past, and I still be thanking God for them, because they came at times where you wouldn't even, you're closest to Him, when you wasn't even going to church like you should have. You wasn't reading like you're supposed to, but you're still being, we call it blessed, that He was still giving us little small breakthroughs. The problem with that is, and the point of me making this video, and the point of the revelation to me, we take those little small breakthroughs and we toss them to the side, or we make them insignificant because we're still looking for this major one. But God says, all the little ones I did, how did you handle them? How did you incorporate that to make things better at that time? Did you mishandle them? Did you miss that it was a breakthrough and just think, okay, well, God looked out for me this time, but you still just keep grabbing for the thing that you're looking for, but not seeing the little setups in between that could have helped you progress a little bit here, a little bit more here, turn your life around. I'll get you out of a situation, not just out of a certain part of the situation, but turn your whole situation around. Anything about it that wasn't good. Did you do that? I can just bring back one incident. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't working. I had went to stay back with my mom for, it was temporary. But the problem is, only had one of my children with me. My two oldest children had already moved out on their own. And my third daughter, she had went to go stay with her cousin out of state. That was just opportunities she had. And I had my youngest daughter. We had been living in the family house over there of her grandmother, but her dad was now, was he? I don't know. I think he may have been incarcerated at that time, but I think he was. So I just didn't want to stay in that house. I could have. I was allowed to, but I wanted to stay with my mom for a while I got things together. But anyway, I was in church, and my daughter came. I didn't have my car anymore. My daughter came to pick me up from church, and even though I wasn't working, I still had my own little hustles and stuff that I did, and I still tried to pay my tithe. And this particular day, I would never forget this Sunday. And it was around Christmas time. I wasn't, I knew I was going to get my daughter something for Christmas, but this was going to be elaborate, and I wasn't focusing on that because it is what it is. When I can, I did. When I couldn't, then it was what it was. So, with that being said, I went to church, and I had $30 to put in church that day. I probably didn't have much more than that in my pocket. That may have been pretty much all of it. But I know I didn't have much. But I was still putting that $30 in church because I love to be able to tithe. I love to be able to pay. And that particular morning, the pastor said, bring your tithes to the offering. To the altar. So I get up, I go to take it to the altar. But when I put it down, I kneel down. And I kneel, like, I guess a minute or two just worshiping God at the altar. And I go back and sit down. And I put my head down and I'm in prayer. And I feel someone touch me. And it was Pastor. And he reached me $20. I would never forget this day because I never had this happen to me before, ever. And since then, because I just haven't joined any more churches since then, I study my Bible every day. I pray all day and night. I just haven't been back into a church home. I visited, but I just haven't found. I just haven't, and I have reasons for it. But anyway, this particular day, he gives it to me, and I said, thank you. And I put my head back down and made prayer, and then I get another touch. And it's the usher, she's reaching for my hand. And my hand, I'm like, well, and I look up, and there's a line of people in the aisle. And everybody has money in their hand or a check to sow into me. I just put $30 at the altar. And if I can remember, if God did multiply that at tenfold, because a couple of them were checks. It was $200 and some in cash, and it was like a couple of them that were $10, $15 checks. So it was tenfold. It was like $300, a little $300. And I tithed from that money and put that back in church. But I was like, what happened? Why? And my oldest daughter, who was the member of the church before, that's how I found out about the church. She was just like, it was just your time. And the pastor was saying the same thing. The apostle is the one who actually gave me the $20. He at this time he had elevated to be apostle. His wife was pastor. So the pastor said it was just your time, but it was apostle that led the beginning of the giving. He gave, and everybody followed behind, like this line of people, and it was just this thing of amazement. Like, yes, I've been coming to church, I've been worshiping. I still wasn't reading and studying like I should have been, but God has an appointed time for everything that he does. And to show you that he hears you, that he's still blessing you, that when your heart is in a certain place, like that day, it might have been my last. But I wanted to give, and I gave it cheerfully with no regret or whatever, and he just amazed me instantly. And so, yes, I was okay with getting my daughter something for Christmas and just being, but then he put it in the position where I was able to get her something I really wanted to get her, that she actually needed. She needed a cell phone. She was still young. We might have been in elementary school, but the situation that we were dealing with at the time, it was easier for her to have a phone. And I needed a new one. But I also had extra because I already had planned to have some, so that money added to that. And the one of the ministers church said, whatever you was believing for. And I was like, I really hadn't asked God anything specifically. Not about money. He just wanted to show me who he was. And I didn't take that for granted. I didn't take it lightly. It's just that the point of me saying that wasn't just a blessing. That was a sort of a breakthrough moment, because at that point in time, it wasn't long before all the other little blessings and things that had been said that was coming started coming. So it was like the beginning, like the first step into what was shifting in my life. So you have to go back and look at some of the things, right? You have to go back and look at some and say, so when this happened, what were the things that happened after that? Did I miss that was the beginning of a fluctuation of 3, 4, 5 blessings back to back? Because I was looking for one particular breakthrough, so I missed it, or I mishandled it, or I misinterpreted it, or I just didn't do it. I didn't use it to its fullest extent that I should have been used, or I should have used it differently. It's just something that we need to start, go back. And the reasons say to go back, so that we can reevaluate how we handle, how we missed it. Because see, this next one that's coming, we need to be ready. We need to be prepared. We need to be mentally prepared, spiritually prepared. We need to have the capacity to receive it and do and steward it. Do what we're told and steward it the way we're supposed to. So that we can continually have, because every time you have these small breakthroughs, you didn't just get that and then nothing in between, or nothing after that. It might have been 3, 4 months, but then something, and it worked out. We got to pay attention to the pattern. We got to pay attention to how you handle it, so we can do it differently, so we can expect differently, so we can react differently. This was brought to me clearly because all the times you be asking, all the times that we ask of ourselves, we never consider I'm not going to say we never consider what we already done, because we give God the glory, like, God did this, God did, and He helped me, yes. But what happened after that? And that, see, something significant happened where it was just like, oh, this is right when I need it. I wasn't even looking for it. It came. It was ready. And then a few more things came and your life seemed better for a little while. You got thing on top, and because we missed that it was a breakthrough, and we was just accepting and saying, thank you, God, and keep going, living the same way. We didn't implement it in a manner for it to have longer term changes in our life, or we just missed it with all the distractions, our selfish thoughts and wants, of how we used it, what we did, how we used it the way we chose, instead of talking to God about, okay, how we need to go about doing things. It was a lot of little things that we may have done, but we just need to evaluate. God is not trying to say, oh, you didn't deserve it, I gave you this. No. He's trying to get us to evaluate, because see, the times that are coming now, the things that He's trying to shift us to give us now, we need to get ready. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally. We need to build the capacity within us. We need to understand what stewardship is. We need to understand how to hear and wait for Him to tell us when to move, because things are changing right now. We're in a different time, and things are finna. He's trying to set up in the position His children who really seek Him, the people He really are trying to set in the positions. He's trying to set you up now. So when the time of famine comes, when all these different things that is going on in the prophecies that's going on in the Bible started coming past, you would be in position not just to be okay and not fall, not stumble, but to help others. Right now is the time to go back and evaluate all our past breakthroughs, little ones, continuous ones. The pattern. What happened? How we did? It's time to go back and evaluate so we can change. We did then. And not just, we need to change our way of thinking, the way we've seen it, the way we handled it. And I can't keep saying we need to be ready spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Emotionally means not just, okay, how I feel like I want to do, but emotionally stable. To know even the things that you may feel like you shouldn't have to do it. If God said do, you need to do it. Spiritually, you need to be sensitive, spiritually sensitive and aligned. For some people it's a struggle. Sometimes I want to, but I know praying and fasting, people say, well, you shouldn't pray. Well, we should fast at least once a week to just try to clear our mind and take time to put aside for nothing but God. But to start getting clarity, we need to cut out on the meat. You need protein and stuff, eat beans and rice. But cut out on the meat for a month or so. And you may eat, if you're not allergic to like some fish, salmon, catfish, whatever, not flesh. That's, like not the pork. I don't eat pork, but, people eat pork. I love steaks, but steaks and chicken, not because of religion. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Let me make that clear. Because of the cleansing. Meat, first of all, I don't know what to say about our meat today. I'm just going to leave that part alone. But it's not about being organic or regular. When you kill an animal, when you kill a chicken, a horse, I said a horse, a chicken, a cow, don't talk about horse, a lamb, a pig, whatever. You slaughter them. Most of the time they know when you finna do it, they get anxious, anxiety, there's fear, all that energy that they have. And it's not going anywhere. It's still in their meat. And energy transfers. So when you're eating a lot of meat and you're consistently consuming all that negative energy, that fear, so you got to cleanse yourself of that to try to get your spirit intact so that you can think clearly. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you start a little bit by a little bit. Okay, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, you just don't eat meat. And the reason they say, oh, well, fish is meat, whatever, but it's not the same. It may be a certain distress, I can't really say, but it's not like a small fish come out the water. They out the water too long, they aren't there. It's not breathing. It's not like if you have to catch a fish and swallow it and you end up cutting their heads off and stuff, but they're already dead when you do that. It's just like, it's just not the same. Because you don't have to eat fish or shrimp either. You could just eat beans and rice, plant-based meat, however you want to do it. I'm just saying that we need to back up. And I'm not talking just to you and tell you, I'm talking about myself as well. We need to back up after meat. We need to give ourselves a time frame and start small and work our way up. I ain't saying you got to fast 5 days a week. I'm saying one day a week, take that time. That's for God. Your fasting might not even be from food. It might be from social media. It might be from something that you just constant that you need to do that keeps you distracted. So that day you just fast from to keep from being distracted. Whatever it is, that's for you and God to do. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking as a whole to build clarity and clearance. And I'm talking to myself. So this is not me giving you a speech. This is me saying what we need to do as a people. As God's people. as a believer in Christ, because we really need to get in alignment. And me saying this to you is me talking to myself as well. So don't judge people every time they go and they tell you something. They're not telling you something. They're trying to tell you what you need to do like that. Sometimes they're talking to them as well. And saying, you can read messages and encourage us to say, you know what we should do. And now we'll be like, okay, Lord, they believe, they hearing what I'm saying, and they agree with me, and that gives us strength as well. So I just wanted to share that. I got some more points and things that will probably come up in videos that people, I know somebody's been through them. We just need to see things a different way. That's what we need. We need this because the time is coming. The shift is coming. Shifts are coming. So we need to start reevaluating our past breakthroughs. So when this major one comes, we'll be ready. We have the capacity. We have the spiritual, the mental, the physical, and the emotional capacity to accept it and do well with it and steward it well. So till next time, Divine Queen here, and I'll talk to you later. Thank y'all for listening.